right, it is time to introduce our first guest ever on The Source. This is Lyx Lyon. Tell us about yourself.
I'm Lyx. I'm a production artist, production manager, but also kind of a jack of all trades of our company. I do some video editing, some plushie design, game design. I do a lot of our Kickstarters and backer kit setup. Yeah, just a little bit of everything. But
Done a few comic covers.
I have done a few comic book covers, illustration work, all kinds of stuff.
So the reason why you're here today is that you're going to talk about Cuddlee Kaiju, this brand new brand that's been popping up all over the place. I don't know if you guys have seen it. It's pretty exciting. Can you tell us what exactly is Cuddlee Kaiju?
So Cuddlee Kaiju is an IP that we are making, and it starts with a story-driven, narrative plushie line. So we already have an ash can out, which you can already go read, but here are the plushies. We've got little Thrasher. He's very goofy. He's our little punk rock kaiju. He's meant to look very derpy. Here, maybe I'll just set these out. This is the poster child. This one's Wingnut. He's super fun. I love him. He's my favorite.
They're so soft.
They are very, very soft.
Oh my goodness.
And this one is Double Heather. She's very fun.
Hey.
And last but not least, Squid Vicious. And he's got a fun little butt. That's the best part about him. So these are all part of a comic book written by Garrett Gunn. Like I said, the ash can's out right now. But yeah, this is a plushie line, and we'll be doing a little bit more things with the kaiju later on, but yeah.
So this is considered the first wave of kaiju?
Absolutely.
So they, when do we get to see, will there be more kaiju in the Cuddlee Kaiju line?
Maybe eventually.
Honestly, this is brand new.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking way ahead.
I don't want to say too much.
They're so soft.
So yeah, you can get these on our website right now. Let me put them back.
So what all did you do? You had a lot of, obviously you wear a lot of hats, and so you had a big hand in the Cuddlee Kaiju project so far. What exactly did you do for this brand?
Well, first I designed all the patterns for the plushies, and I'm the person who talks to the factory and makes sure they're as cute and as soft and squishy as possible. I also, as far after the plushies, all of the branding, just picking out the colors and the vibes that we want to really reach with this, as well as the commercial. I do video editing stuff, which Sean Schemmel, the voice of Goku, voices all the characters in these.
Oh, really? So
yes.
you have Sean Schemmel in your commercials. You've got all these awesome characters. So now these were based off of original cartoons that were created by Jay Fosgitt, right? Yeah,
Disney artist.
So for those who don't know, Jay Fosgitt has done a lot of work for Disney, and then Marvel and Source Press and several other places. So then what was that like, taking his drawing? You had to design the patterns to make this three-dimensional.
Yes.
Is that tricky?
A little bit, yeah. These are kind of my first crack at plushies, so they turned out really well though. Yeah, we took Jay's original concept character designs from Garrett's book and made them into real life.
That's so exciting. Okay, so the commercials, you directed them, you edited them, you did all this work, and we're about to show you one of the commercials. There's these incredible dioramas that you built as well. So everything has this very cool, fun, retro vibe, and it reminds me of old Godzilla movies, which I absolutely love. So you built these kind of these cityscapes, and there's a waterscape as well. I don't know if they all appear in this commercial or not.
They don't. They do appear in a lot of the marketing images, but yeah, those dioramas were really fun to make. I went out and got actual sand and actual concrete pieces and sit there and built a little cityscape that was all torn down and stuff, with a little road and grass. And then the water one was really fun to do for him. We did a nice little resin pour with some broken ships in it. So those were very fun to
He
make.
was very grumpy and destroyed all the ships in the sea. Okay, let's take a look at that commercial right now.
It's Winger. Squishy. Slasher.
Double heaven! Oh my god!
Saying that.
So this brand, and I say brand, it's really so much more than a plushie line. There was a lot going on here. We've got a story, we got a comic book, we have merchandise. It had a really big launch at New York Comic Con a few months back. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So that New York Comic Con was so much fun. I feel weird saying this, but we were probably one of the most popular booths at New York Comic Con. It was insane. We had a line, so our booth was kind of split in half, and half of it was the Cuddlee Kaiju side. The line for Cuddlee Kaiju, and I'll get into why it was like really crazy, it was wrapped all the way around onto the other side of the booth, like halfway. It was insane. So the reason why our booth was so popular is because we had a fun little badge scanner, and we would scan people's badges, and that allowed them to play one of 3 arcade type games where they could win stickers and lanyards and Cuddlee Kaiju, all kinds of things. And while we didn't have the plushies at New York, they could win plushies, and we are actually sending out them right now. So if you won a plushie at New York, you're probably getting it right now. The games that we had was skee ball, we had a claw machine with some little fun items. You could get tickets, some of the other things that I mentioned, as well as I made these little 3D printed kaiju.
The minifigures.
The minifigures.
So cool.
Those were only available if you came and hung out with us at New York Comic Con and come and play the claw game, as well as the last game, the Cut to Win game, where you could win all 4 of the plushies, which is
line.
very
Ships your
tricky.
house.
But it was always such a party when everybody won, or anyone won, because we were just like, oh my gosh,
Yeah,
crazy.
and like lights go off, and there's music, and the door swung open on the machine too. It was a really big deal anytime anybody won. But yeah, it was insane. There was such a huge line at New York Comic Con. This was definitely the hottest thing happening at New York. The line was impossible to control. We had a line queue area, but it kept spilling out.
It was too big. We didn't have enough
It went all
area
the way
to
around the other
keep
side
it.
of the booth. Yeah, so I was on the opposite side signing comic books, and basically there was just a line of people waiting to see Lexan play games and try to win these plushies that were wrapping all the way around to me. So I was just like hanging out, talking to people in line while they were getting ready to do this.
It was crazy because by the end of Saturday, we had already run out of like most of our stickers and a ton of our stuff already, and by Sunday we were out of a bunch of stuff. So we started this really fun thing where people could donate their extra tickets to the next kid in line, and that way every kid in line pretty much got a plushie after that. They got to win a plushie, which was just like really cool to see, like all these kids winning games.
It was the biggest brand launch of the year at New York, for sure. Massive, huge booth. I was over 50 feet. Like, it was one big, huge line of like an 80s style retro carnival.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
So much fun.
And it sounded like a lot of people had a lot of fun at New York. The one lady recognized me as Thrasher's mom, which I'll never forget. That was really nice. We were at Dunkin'
That wasn't
Donuts.
even at the convention.
That was not
Dunkin'
at
Donuts of all places.
It was not at the convention.
Super exciting. So anybody who wants to dive in and get one of these, where do they go?
They go to our website, sourcepointpress.com.
Sourcepointpress.com. And then it's on the homepage, but also you can type in Cuddlee Kaiju, and it'll pop up. You're probably too late to be able to get enamel pins or any of the other cool stuff. I think most of the merch is sold out, but we do have all 4 of the plushies available. And what a cool team of people to work on this project. So we've got Garrett Gunn doing storytelling. I mean, Sean Schemmel was involved, on the creative end as well. He was a big part of everything, as well as doing the voices. I feel like this is just the beginning of something huge.
It is. It really is, and it feels like it too. Like we have so much more plans for Cuddlee Kaiju. It's really fun to see, the launch at New York do so well, and it just really rocket off already. So I think it's going to be great.
The next step for Cuddlee Kaiju is to take stores by storm. So looking at March, likely a March release, we should see these start hitting game shops and hobby shops and toy stores and comic book stores. This is just getting started, and I am so excited. Is there anything else that you're working on that you can kind of tell people a little bit about? Or any sneak peeks? I know you just had a game come out that you worked on.
I did have Winchester Mystery House come
Yes.
out. That one is so opposite of Cuddlee Kaiju, but so amazing in a completely different way. Malia's illustrations on that really just made me fall in love with the art of the game.
Malia's incredible. So for those who aren't familiar, the Winchester Mystery House it has a comic book series that I write, and it's based on a true story about one of the most haunted mansions in the world. And we brought in game designer John Breaker to take one of our previous games that was published by Deepwater Games called Floor Plan and turn it into a Winchester Mystery House version of the game. And Lex did all of the design and managed all the production and all of the graphics, and it is just gorgeous, absolutely beautiful. We'll throw a picture of that up right here for you to see too. Check this out. So where can people find you if they want to keep up with all the cool stuff you're working on?
Oh boy. Well, I guess I have my TikTok. That's probably the thing that I use the most. My Instagram is a little dead. My TikTok is just Lyx Lyon, LYXLYON. And that's where any of my other social media is too. I just don't use it as much.
That's awesome. You guys have to follow her TikTok. It's phenomenal. And thank you so much for coming on to the Source.
Thank you for having
everybody
me.
Stick around. There's another great guest on the way and so much more. I'm so excited. Thank you, Lex. This was awesome. And thank you to all of these amazing Cuddlee Kaiju.